current and some fish through. There he is. And we've got a dolphin out here who's feeding. Through this video, we are going to do a little bit of walk and talk like this, show you some of the sites, explain what we have here. We'll drive through the communities. We'll show you the way that the trees canopy the roads with the live oaks. It really, the live oaks here are like no other in any of these other communities. The way they canopy the roads, the way the Spanish moss comes down, it's just beautiful. Then what we will do is drive through, show you some of the houses, what they look like, how far they sit off of the road. You'll get all of that detail in those pictures and in those drive-throughs. And lastly, what we'll do is we'll sit down with information in front of us. We'll talk about the fees, the golf, the tennis, the pickleball, all the things that all these Hilton Head communities have. So enjoy the tour. I appreciate you being here. I hope you enjoy it. We're out front of the Port Royal Golf and Racket Club. We've got tennis and pickleball going on here. There's a lesson going on behind me. Golf course is right back there behind me. We'll kind of take you for a tour, take you for a walk around, show you what's here, what the conditions of the facility are. From first sight, really, really nice. But you could be the judge of that later. So I walk through the tennis and pickleball. You can see pickleball going on behind me. We've got probably, gosh, I don't know, 10, 12 tennis courts. Looks like 2 pickleball courts. There's a ton of activity out here. Doubles going on 1, 2, 3 different courts. We've got lessons going on 2 of them. Ready to smash one down the line. I saw on the board out front here, if you're interested in playing and don't have anyone to play with, don't have equipment, they rent equipment. There are pickleball nights on Thursdays. There's tennis afternoons on Tuesdays. So it's really, really easy to get involved, to become active. You don't have to know how to play the sport. They've got professionals here to help you and teach you how to play. Really, the majority of these communities, Port Royal with no exception, are geared to allow you to move in, enjoy the area, meet people. They do everything they can to really make it as social of a community as possible. So behind me, you can see the Port Royal Golf Club. There's also a grill inside. We're gonna take a walk inside, ask them if they don't mind if we film. Sometimes get a little bit nervous about running around with a camera without asking. So we'll take a step inside. I just thought it was beautiful. Thought I should step out in front of it, show you guys what it looks like. You can see it's pretty magnificent. But we'll walk inside, see if they allow us to take a little bit of video out back, get a look at usually driving ranges, putting greens, just get a look at the activities that are going on behind. Well, the back of the club doesn't disappoint. I've been to a number of clubs as I've done these tours around, and this one stacks up there with some of the nicer ones. I don't typically get video of inside. I don't know why. I feel like some things should remain private. You should come and see it for yourself. But the backside with this patio, the fire pit, and then this cool outdoor courtyard with chairs, bar inside, restaurant inside, it really is. I was surprised at how nice it really is inside. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised and pleased if this is the neighborhood you choose for yourself. I've said it many times, I'm not a golfer, but I am always impressed at how beautiful golf courses are. I don't know if you can see this behind me, but over here you've got a putting green, little blue flags, putting only. But then you've got this vast area of open space with a green back there. You can see the flag right there in the back, and then you've got this other green right here behind me. All of this is being used for chipping onto these, you know, and again, you can see the sand right here too. So all of this is being used to chip onto these surfaces. This is the first course that I've been to, and I'm sure if you're a golfer, you're like, you're an idiot. But this is the first course that I've been to where it's been so open between practice holes. And again, I don't know if that gives you a better view, but it's been so open between practice holes that you can practice the like medium range chip shot onto the greens. Now, if I'm doing medium range chip shot onto the greens, I'm hitting this house that's back here. But I can see how you can get good at golf if you have time to just sit out here on these practice facilities. If you've watched the video for this long, I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe. What subscribing does helps us push this content and this information about Hilton Head Island out to more people. So as you subscribe, as you like, as you ring the bell to get notifications, YouTube starts to learn who the person is that likes my content. Once they figure out who that person is, it gets in front of the right eyes. It gets in front of the people who care about Hilton Head Island, who want to know more about Hilton Head Island. So your subscription means a lot, helps to get this information out to more people. So if you like the details and you like the information, please subscribe. If you don't, I'll try harder. So a number of the houses here in Port Royal are going to back to the golf course. So here's a good example of one. It's got a beautiful swimming pool in the back. That whole bottom area is screened in. If you're gonna move to Hilton Head, South Carolina, you better come with a Costco jug full of bug spray, because it is buggy. So you'll see a lot of the homes have some type of screened in area. That screened in area is huge, right outside of the pool. And then the top canopy there looks out over the back of the clubhouse, looks back over the, the beautiful greens. Tons of golf course view houses here. And why not? These golf courses are so well manicured and so well maintained that, somebody else does it and it's beautiful. I'll take that in my backyard all day long. I made our way over to the driving range. This is where I need to spend the majority of my time. It is what it is. It's just a driving range. This is where you get to tear up the ground and not feel guilty about it like I do on the course. Yeah, there's not a whole lot to it. Just hit the ball out here's where I suck. Hit the ball out as far as you can. That's not really what they're trying to do out here. They're trying to hit it to some targets and some flags. But yeah, that's a driving range. The beach club is only a couple years old. This stands to be the meeting place for the community. So I was talking to a couple of neighbors who were on the patio there earlier. The women's club, the men's club, dinners, social hours, really anything that goes on internally inside of the community. This is the meeting house where all of that happens. If they have a speaker come in, speaker's gonna come here, gonna speak to everybody. So the club is essentially, the beach club, we'll call it, is essentially the meeting place for the community itself. There it is. There's the beach at Port Royal Plantation. If you pan this way, you've got Atlantic Ocean. If you pan that way, you've got Port Royal Sound. You can actually see the land right there that's going to create the sound out there. Nothing but blue water and sky. We are standing directly on the heel of Hilton Head Island. So with regard to where Port Royal Plantation sits, like I said, it sits right on the heel. Part of it gets the Atlantic Ocean, part of it actually gets the Port Royal Sound. So if we turn this way, Atlantic Ocean. If we go this way, Port Royal Sound. So again, when we come in off of the beach house, we're coming into the Port Royal Sound. If you want the Atlantic Ocean, I mean, technically they look exactly the same. Waves aren't that much different. We're here at low tide, so it's a big beach. But if you technically want to be at the ocean side, you're gonna walk down, I don't know, 100 yards or so. Other thing I realized, and I noticed while I was out here, if you are a beachfront kind of person, there is a large dunes barrier here. This obviously is here for a reason. What happens is as the tides come up, they bring sand, they deposit sand. These dunes with wind and tide get bigger and bigger and bigger. Then a storm comes through and washes them out every once in a while. But there is a very large barrier of dunes that you're not allowed to build on. You're not allowed to walk around on. You literally are not allowed to touch them. That large barrier, and you can see the homes behind me, those are oceanfront homes. They're 200 yards from the ocean, but those are oceanfront homes. There's no real path coming directly from those homes onto the beach. There's no bridge that's going over top of the dunes from those homes to come to the beach. So if you're really truly looking for oceanfront, you're not necessarily going to get oceanfront here in Port Royal Plantation. If you look down this side of the beach, we're looking down the Atlantic side. If you look way down there, you can see some of the hotels and timeshares. If I can get us to spin around and go to the other side. So this is the Port Royal side. You can see where it starts to make a turn, and then you've got Port Royal Sound on the other side. And then right there is going to be Port Royal Plantation. You can see some of the waterfront homes there behind me. Now those homes will look over the Sound. Don't equate that to cheap housing, because those are far from cheap. But they are not the same as being oceanfront and being able to be right on the ocean. The discount isn't going to be that noticeable because the view is beautiful, because the Sound is so big. You're still looking over huge blue deep water. Technically speaking though, those look over the Sound. This side is going to look over the Atlantic Ocean. Walking off the beach, I'll give you a little explanation of what's here at the beach club. With every typical beach club, it's going to give you showers to be able to wash off. You can see them right there. To my right, probably your left on the video, you're going to have the swimming pool that sits right there, all of it taken care of by the community. In the swimming pool, you've got a bathhouse, so essentially bathrooms, water fountains, things like that. To the other side, you've got the clubhouse, and then as you come from the beach through the clubhouse, the other side of the parking lot is going to give you your playground. There's a basketball court that's in the parking lot here. Underneath the clubhouse, you've got locker storage. So if you've got, it's super convenient for anyone that lives here to bring their beach stuff, put it in the locker. All you got to do is drive here with your cooler and head out to the beach, grab your stuff from underneath the lockers, go out to the beach, hang out. A number of these clubs have that. It's a really convenient feature because one, these houses don't have basements, so there's not a ton of extra storage. Your garage gets filled up pretty quickly. And two, it's just such easy access to grab your stuff, head out to the beach, not have to lug it in your car, out of your car. Again, if you haven't noticed, I'm a big proponent of getting the sand off of you before you get in the car. When you throw your chairs that have been sitting in the sand for hours and your beach balls and your shovels and your toys all back into your car on the way home from the beach, your car is a sandy mess. And it drives me crazy because I got to vacuum it every single time we come home from the beach. Now, that being said, the beach is worth it, but the extra work that has to happen to get rid of the sand is a little bit tough. So if I have the ability to throw it in a locker and not have to clean it up when I get home, sounds good to me. I'm in. I was going to go back to the office and look up some information, tell you about the home sites, the real estate here, but I was lucky enough to run into a neighbor who knew it all, so I will just regurgitate what he told me. Port Royal Plantation has about 900 home sites, still have a few buildable lots that can be built on. You can see through this video and through some of the drive-throughs the different styles of homes. You've got what we call half lots, which homes are really close together. They're not really attached, but they're super close. They're tiny lots. You've got full lots, which are going to give you, just larger, more space. Now, from what I see as I drive through, the lots here are not as big as, say, a Hilton Head Plantation. You're going to have, let's talk about views. As far as the view out of the house, obviously you saw the one on the golf course, so you're gonna have golf course views. You're gonna have lagoons. We have lagoons all over Hilton Head. So we have always got houses that back to lagoons. You're gonna have some deep water here. So you've got Port Royal, you've got the Atlantic Ocean. So you're gonna have a couple of homes that, and those are gonna be your higher priced homes, but you got a couple of homes that are gonna back there. Then you're going to have what they call landscape lots. I've talked about that in a number of different videos, which, whether it's an open field, whether it's woods, they call it landscape, it sounds better, I guess. So that's what you're going to get with regard to the housing here. I will have to go look up pricing, but I'm going to say, you know, everything that I've been seeing lately here is going to be up over $1 million, but I would guess, just based on driving through and looking at some of the structures, you do have some older houses here. So, you know, most of these, nothing here is brand new. It's an island, so there's no new communities to be built. So you're looking at homes that are going to push 30, 40 years old in some of these communities. I don't think Port Royal is any different. So you're going to have some small rancher patio homes that are going to need some super renovation, are going to be inexpensive. They're going to be about 1,500 square feet. Now, when I say inexpensive, $700,000-800,000. That's not inexpensive, but for this island, for this neighborhood, it is. You will probably push yourself up to 3, 4, 5 million on the Atlantic Ocean, but we'll verify that, make sure those numbers are right, and if they're not, we'll make a correction in the video. As far as the fees go, fees are pretty inexpensive here. Now, there is no mandatory club to join. You don't have to join the golf club that we were just at. You don't have to join the tennis club that we were just at. If you want to join those, there's going to be additional fees. But to live in the Port Royal Plantation, it's $1,900 a year. That is your HOA fee. It's going to pay to put a guard at the front gate and keep all the intruders out. And it's going to pay to maintain the beach club, as well as the swimming pool, and then just the common grounds around the area. There is currently an assessment for the beach club. That was built a couple years ago. So they turned around, they put an assessment on the homeowners here, and they are now paying that off. The exact amount, I'm not sure, but it was $3,000 per resident. And I think that's been going on now for 2 or 3 years. It's not $3,000 a year, it's $3,000 total per resident here in the community. So that assessment will run out at some point in time, possibly before you even think about buying here on the island. But those are the fees, $1,900. That's nothing compared to the rest of the communities here on the island. So that's Port Royal. You know, the more I go into these communities, I'm new here, so the more I go into these communities, the more I learn. I like every one of them that I go into. So to me, what's great about Port Royal, you have the Atlantic Ocean, so you've got a beach. Most private communities do not have a beach. The fact that it's private is huge. The fact that there are no short-term renters is huge. The amount of traffic, the amount of busyness in the summer is just, it's a big benefit to not have to deal with that if you don't have to. So being private is huge. So the combination of private, no short-term rentals, walkable to the beach, those are two things that you don't get in every community. There is no private club here, so the fees are not astronomical. So it makes it a really great primary or second home place here on the island. If you've watched this video all the way to the end, you're one of the only ones, but I want to thank you for doing that and really appreciate that you're paying attention to what I have to say and paying attention to this beautiful island. Until the next video, again, thanks a lot.